This is my 10-hit Miraculous Gohan burn deck. 1 copy of the leader. 4 Awakened Warrior Bardock. 4 Bardock Resolute. 4 Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan. 4 King Piccolo, the new ruler. 4 Super Saiyan Blue Kaio-Ken Goku. 4 Bodyguard Electric. 4 Khalifa Skillless. 4 Hidden Power E Supreme Kai. 4 Testing the Opposition. 4 Violent Rays. 3 Goku Jr. Unison. 3 Piccolo Jr. Unison. 3 Sin Shinron Unison. And 1 Heroines Lineage. So, this is another IRL deck. I do have everything in here, except I still don't have the Violent Rays, but I will be purchasing at least one this week, and one every week until I have my play set. But for the time being, I'm using Power of the People, Protector of the People, whatever it's called, as a substitution for the time being. I am waiting for Testing Opposition to come in the mail with all the other negates, free negates. So we'll have that soon, hopefully this week. I should have a lot of stuff delivered this week. I just got this today, so I got my Miraculous Gohan, which is nice. Still got to order. I noticed the price of Kaio-Ken Goku is dropping, so just waiting for it to get down to a number that I'm like, alright, it's low enough, I'll buy it. So I can have my 4th copy, and I have everything else, of course. Alright, so just like my other builds, Gohan burn decks, obviously got the hit combo strategy. This one has a little bit more burn than the other ones because the other ones tend to burn more from the leader than anything else, but at least there's some main deck burn. Just, obviously the way the game is changing, you gotta have burn as an alternative win con. Can't just rely on attacks. So Gohan, Ultimate Gohan is, for now, a really good option. Especially it works pretty well in this deck because of how small your hand gets. Really, your hand size is not that big in this deck, so it wouldn't be that hard to play this for 2 energy, and it is Gohan, so it goes with the Gohan leader strategy, right? The burn damage. So there's that. So he's one of our finishers. Either synergizes well with Sin Shinron Unison, so that way you can attack active mode battle cards, so that way you can trigger this effect. That way you have a guarantee way of attacking something to guarantee you can pull this effect off. As on this build, you will notice there's no super combo like some other previous builds. One, because we're mainly relying on the leader's ability to give 10k to all my battle cards, so that already is inherently super combo. Inherently just pitch 3 cards, sparking 5, give all my red and green battle cards 10k power for the duration of the turn. So that'd be more than enough to make some of my stuff strong. Especially, Gohan being able to get him up to 35k in KO battle card, so you can burn with his effect. So that's a thing. Alright, so we have the leader, once active main, once per turn, burst 2, so send the top 2 cards of your deck to the drop in order to choose 1 card from your life to add it to your hand, and then if your opponent has 5 or more life, deal your opponent 1 damage. So you can do this effect until your opponent has 4 life. Then after that, you can't use the effect no more. So not bad. Definitely a good effect going. Good effect to have going first. Gotta get that first blood in, right? Plus, since this is a damage to a skill, that will allow you to trigger Bardock's Resolute. So obviously, you'll get that. You get to play that for free. And once we get to the 10k combo, you'll obviously see that in action. You'll understand that. That should be obvious. Of course, since you can attack with the leader, you can attack, burn, so that's 2 damage you can do with just the leader alone. Awaken, when you have 4 or less life, draw 2 cards and flip this card over. So that's where some of your draw power is going to come from is your leader's awakening ability. First auto, sparking 5. When you have 5 or more cards in your drop, when this card attacks, draw a card. It's interesting that that's a specific caveat that you have to have 5 or more cards in order to draw on the awaken side. But hey, take what we can get. If they ever redo this leader, like reboot it, wouldn't be surprised they take that sparking 5 effect off and just make it where you just draw for attacking in general. Second auto, once per turn. Well, that part doesn't matter because we don't alliance in here. Active main, once per turn. When you have 5 or more, sparking 5, when you have 5 or more cards in your drop, you could choose 3 cards in your hand, place them into the drop area to choose all of your red and green battle cards, and they get 10k power for the duration of turn. So that's really nice. So if you have 4, 5, 6, red battle cards in play, for just 3 cards in your hands, you can essentially super combo all your battle cards. So that's kind of nice. Not kind of nice, really awesome if you use it right. Imagine how busted it would be if it wasn't once per turn, if you could do it more than once. But for now, we only need it that one time. One time for the one time. So that's the leader. Alright, let's see. I want to go into I'll do the 10 hit combo later. We'll just go through the cards. Bardock, 20k overall 4. So we have 4 more cards in your drop. You can warp all the cards in your drop in order to play this card for free. Because you overwhelm, you get double strike, so it's 20k double strike. Bardock Resolute, it's a 15k double strike but unique. If you lead first auto, if your leader card is red, when your opponent's life is added to their hand or placed into the drop area by skill, so the effect of burn effects as well as the effect of crit will trigger this card's ability to play this card from your hand for free. So keep that in mind, pay attention, because if your opponent has a card effect like a leader skill or battle card skill or any type of skill where they add a card from their life to their hand, like a sparking negate or something, like let's say testing the opposition, for example. Definitely something really cool to keep in mind is like if your opponent uses testing opposition, this will be a skill that when they have 5 or less life, they can add a card from their life to the hand in order to play this, in order to negate an attack. You can take advantage of the fact that they added a card from their life to the hand in order to play this for free. And it's a 15k double strike, so you could try to take advantage of trying to deal damage with that. Granted, when they do this, they will be making a token that has blockers, so they more likely will be able to stop this card's attack. But at least, for free, you get something out there you can swing with. And if they do block, then, at least you got rid of the blocker, the token and whatnot. But if they don't, it's always good. It just depends on the situation. But just point out that that's a thing. So, second auto, once per turn when your opponent activates a counter skill, like a counter attack or counter play, switch this card to active mode. So of course, as soon as you get them out on the field is as soon as you want to swing with it, because if you swing with it and its attack goes through, which is always good, right? You want to do that 2 damage, and then at any other time you swing with something else and your opponent's like, all right, well, I'll play a counter attack, negate the attack. Then this will trigger and restand so that we can get an extra attack out of it. So you definitely want to attack with this as soon as possible. Another thing is if you attack with this and they negate this card's attack with a counter attack, you'll just restand and attack again anyway. So they just burn a negate. So this is really good card. So basically it makes counter attacks pretty much useless against this card in that type of situation. So really good card to have. Then we have Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan, 25k double strike. You're seeing a pattern of double strike, right? gotta do 2 damage, man. Can't just steal 1. Gotta do as much damage as you can do. The more the merrier, because you're trying to do 8 damage as quickly as possible. Permanent if you have only 3 or less cards besides this card in your hand. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand and battle area by 4. So this will cost 2 specified red if you have 4 or less cards in your hand, essentially, because it's him plus 3 or less cards. So it wouldn't be that hard for you to have 4 or less cards in your hands in order to play this for 2. So a 2 drop 25k battle cards, really nice. And then of course it has double strike, so 25k double strike is really good. And then has the auto, when this card KOs your opponent's battle card, inflict 2 damage to your opponent. So this is really nice. It was an idea I had because of the way his effect works. It says when this card KOs your opponent's battle card, so it doesn't have to be from an attack. So if you put this in a Bomo deck, right, so it'll become a blocker, then give it revenge every time you use it to block a battle card, right? The revenge will trigger, right, KOing your opponent's battle card, and then your opponent will take 2 damage from this. So that is something I'm definitely looking forward to. Maybe a Unison or a battle card or something, extra card, something that I can add into the Bulma deck to be able to combine with this Gohan to, just to give it, revenge, so that way it can do what it do, right? So that's just a nice idea. But of course, the simplest thing you could do is play this swing, add a battle card, and try to KO it. And if you do, even better, right? So it makes dealing 2 damage easier. So that's nice, and it's double strike, so that's a thing. Then we got King Piccolo, the new ruler, 15k double strike. So we're still going with the double strike. Permanent, if your leader card is red, which it is, this card gets 5k power, and your opponent can't use blocker skill for when this card attacks. So it'll be a 20k double strike, and your opponent can't use a blocker to stop it. So that comes in handy because of these free negates making blocker tokens. So it's nice to have something that can bypass the token. So we'll definitely take advantage of that, especially if you're in a scenario where you played one of your new unisons, and you make sure they had the 3 markers. Then you end up dropping a Bardic Resolute, probably through the effect of the leader burning your opponent, and drop them. You swing with them, your opponent plays testing that position as an example, which will trigger his Bardic's ability to restand. And then of course the token will hit the field. And some stuff's going on outside. What was I saying? So you swing, negate, restand. You can swing again. They can obviously use the token to block the attack. If they do, that's bad for them, because then everything else can attack too. But let's say you don't do that, and then you just swing with King Piccolo. So they can't block that, so this is definitely going to go through the blocker. And then you can still swing with Bardic. If they decide to block with that, then they decide to block with that. So that, but at least you were able to force the test in that position in that line of play. But if you want to attack the token, with or attack and have your opponent use the blocker against the Ultimate Gohan, that's always a good thing. Stuff like that can happen, which is always good. Then we got Super Saiyan Blue Kaio-Ken Goku, which has Deflect auto. When you play this card from your hand, specifically choose all your opponent's battle cards with 20k power less and KO them. Active main, pay 2 red. If your leader card is red and you place this card from your hand to the drop area, choose one of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, and it gets negative 25k power for the turn. So this is our board wipe as well as our battle barrier hate. So gotta have that. There will be situations where you will need that effect, and I know that for a fact. Bodyguard Logic, Blocker 15k, permanent. When your opponent has battle cards in their battle area and you do not have battle cards in your battle area, you can play this card without paying its cost. So, nice free 15k blocker / attacker. I tend to use it more of an attacker than more of a sword than a shield, but there are times where I have used it as a shield. That was always funny. And then Khalifa, 10k skillless. She goes with the Goku Jr. because we use the Goku Jr. to do its -1 ability to play up to 2 skillless battle cards with 10k, that are 1 drop, and Khalifa's our target for that. Then we got Hidden Power Use for Hankai. We use this to obviously combo it for 1 energy to get the 10k boost and double strike. So whatever we attack with, so you see, so we can easily turn Bodyguard Legend into a 25k double strike if we need to, or Kaio-Ken Goku, or we can use it on the leader, so the leader can do double strike on top of its burn abilities. Then we have Testing the Opposition. Counter attack if your leader card is mono red, which it is. Negate the attack, then play 1 Cyberman token. It has 5k power, 0 cost, 5k combo power, and it gets blocker for the duration of the turn. So you can potentially stop 2 attacks for just 1 card. And we're mainly going to use this, through its permanent, which is if you have 5 or less life, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding 1 card from your life to your hand instead of paying its energy cost. So this is obviously for when we're tapped out, but we need some defense. I definitely would have liked to have had this sooner. That would have been really nice to have this card sooner, because definitely the kind of card I want to have. Definitely better than, what's this called? After Image Technique. This is essentially what After Image Technique should have been. So it's nice to have this. And they're adorable. Look, little Cybermans. So, really good card. Negates an attack and makes a blocker so you can stop 2 attacks. So this deck can definitely, especially with it going wide, it definitely can use a free negate. Then we have Violent Raise, counter attack, negate attack. You may choose 1 card from your hand, discard it. If you do choose one of these abilities, your opponent can't attack with battle cards with 20k power or more for the turn, or your opponent can't attack with unison cards with 20k power or more for the turn. We mainly use it for the battle card part of the effect. So this is obviously anti-aggro cards, which is important. Then we have Goku Jr., Vegeta Jr. Unison. We use it for its -1 ability to play up to 2 skillless battle cards. So we play it for 1 energy, swing with it because it's 10k. Then we -1 and bring out 2 Khalifas and then attack with the 2 Khalifas. So we essentially get 3 attacks off of 1 energy. So it's definitely our turn 1 play we like to do, which is part of our 10-hit combo strategy, obviously. Then we got Piccolo Jr., Descendants of the King. Has an auto when your opponent activates counter skill. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with 15k power or less and KO it. So, and that's not a once per turn. So they play like multiple counter attacks, for example, then this will trigger multiple times. Ironically, this will be useful in, well, I would like to believe it is, this could help us counter the effect of testing the opposition or cards like that, where, because it makes tokens. This can KO tokens, because tokens are battle cards. So, and the tokens are 15k or less. So that is something to keep in mind, that this could potentially help us get rid of the tokens. But it won't, as far as I know, it depends on how this resolves, but more likely you have to wait until the second counter is played in order to get rid of the token. So, for example, if your opponent plays testing opposition on your first attack, this will trigger this auto to let you KO something that's already on board. But then after the resolution, then they'll get the token, so you can't target the token with the auto. But then if they play another counter attack, like maybe another testing opposition, then you can use the auto to KO the first token before the second token appears. So that's the thing. That's the way I'm looking at it. But the nice thing is, anytime your opponent plays a counterplay or a counterattack, especially, counterattacks are the most common. Opponent's always going to try to stop your attacks. This comes in handy in dealing with that, and this is useful, of course, against decks where they have counterattacks that are battle cards. So you definitely want to be able to use this against them, so that way they don't get to keep those battle cards in play. Then we have +1 ability to draw a card, which is really nice. This is the way it gets to help keep this card stay on the field longer, so you can swing with it every turn, as well as it'll help you, play out your King Piccolo, the new ruler, because you play it for 2, and then +1, so that way it has 3 markers, so you can play King Piccolo for free. And then, as the -2 ability, choose up to 1 of your red battle cards with energy cost 3 or less. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards with power less than, or you go to the card you choose and KO them and then gain Rejuvenate. So, our best target for this card effect is our King Piccolo, the new ruler, because he'll be a 20k 3-drop that's red, so we'll obviously be able to use them. Sorry, be able to use them in together in a combination, so that's always good. Just like what you could do is pay 3 to play this, that way it has 3 markers, so you can play this for free. Swing with this. You don't have to worry about blockers, so it's not a problem to swing with this first, and then trigger this card's -2 ability to do the board wipe, and then you'll still be on the field, so you can swing with it, and then of course it has its auto, so got good synergy with those two. Then we have Saiyan Unison of Calamity. Permanent, your red cards can attack your opponent's battle cards in active mode. So this obviously goes really well with Ultimate Gohan, so that way you can KO a battle card, whether it's in active mode or not. And this applies to all your cards. It applies to your Unisons, it applies to your leader, as well as your battle cards, of course, that effect, which is really nice. Then it has the +1 ability, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, and they get a -15k power for the turn, so it's a pseudo board wipe. Definitely useful in making stuff weaker so you could take them down. That's another thing that this synergizes well with Ultimate Gohan, is that you can use this card's +1 ability to weaken a battle card by 15k, so that way when you attack with Gohan, it'd be easier to take it down, take it down by battle. Like, for example, taking a 20k battle card and reducing it down to a 5k and then swinging with Gohan. Gohan will automatically be 20k stronger. And if you want a combo to get this, this card's attack even higher, at least you'll get it to a point where it's like it'll be really, really strong. So one of 2 things will happen. Either your opponent will more likely just lose because they can't out combo, so the battle card would get KO'd and they take 2 damage and lose if they have 2 life, which is more likely what's going to happen. Or they combo up their combo the whole hand just to try to stop this card's effect from resolving, which ironically will put them in the danger zone, because of course you still have Calamity, so you can swing with Calamity and swing with the leader and still be able to do damage. You could probably get a scenario where you get an overwhelm play, so damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? So if you play it right, your opponent's more likely going to be in a position where even if they do manage to out combo this card's attack, it was probably still more likely to still lose from a Unison leader swing. So that's a thing. And let's see. And this has a -2 ability. Look at your opponent's hand, choose up to 1 battle card with 25k power or less from it, and discard it. So this comes in handy to let you know what's in your opponent's hand, to see if they have an out or not. You'll know if they have testing opposition in their hand or not, just because you get to look at their hand. So you know if you have to wait a turn to go for game, or if that turn is the best turn to go for game. That way you don't have to guess on trying to combo when you attack. You can make better, attack-based decisions because you have this effect in effect, right? Obviously, another thing you can do is play this just to do its -2 ability to look at your opponent's hand to see, and probably get rid of like a super combo or something, or like maybe an arrival battle card or charismatic Frieza or something like that, or a counterplay. Just be able to take something out of your opponent's hand they would try to stop. They would try to use to stop you from, dropping your Gohan and then using your ultimate Gohan to attack a battle card and go for game. So these two cards definitely have a lot of synergy together. So make the most out of them. And we have Heroines Lineage, which is a really good SCR. Active battle. You can choose one of your opponent's 7 cost or less battle cards and gain control of it. So you can use this offensively and defensively. So it's a good card, right? It's a good card. For 1 energy, it does a lot. It doesn't ignore barrier, obviously, but not everything has barrier. But if you're a good player, you'll make sure everything you have has barrier. But it's a good card, and I do have it, so I will definitely be putting it to work. And that's the end of the video. Oh wait, sorry, the 10-hit combo, which is the most important thing, because that's what leads to all the other cards. All the other cards is just to help you finish the game out. But you want to start the game, right? So you'll need Awakened Warrior Bardock, Bardock's Resolute, Goku Jr., Vegeta Jr. Unison, and Bodyguard Legend. So you'll want those 4 cards. And of course, your leader will be part of the combo, of course. If your opponent goes first, plays a 1-drop, preferably not a blocker, right? And then your turn, you'll draw, play an energy. You'll tap that energy to play your Goku Jr., Vegeta Jr. Unison. Then you'll you want to play your Bodyguard Legend because your opponent has a battle card. So you want to play that. Play the Goku Jr. Unison. Swing with it. Deal damage. Then use its -1 ability to play out 2 Khalifas from your deck onto the field. Then you'll want to use the leader's active main ability to burst 2, take a life. Your opponent takes a life. So now your opponent should be at 6 life. Then you can swing with the leader to bring your opponent down to 5 life. Then swing with, no, I'm saying it wrong, right? Yeah, no, I'm saying right. Let me see. Leader, burn, 2 damage. So it's 2. Do this. 2. No, I'm saying it wrong. Alright, let me put it back. So, Bodyguard Legend, Goku Jr. Unison. Obviously, you're having play. You'll want to swing with you want to swing with the Unison, then bring out the 2 Khalifas. You want to swing with the 2 Khalifas, so that'd be a total of 3 damage. Then you'll want to use the leader's ability to burn them, because they'll still be at 5. So then you burn them, so they'll be at 4. So that's 4 damage right there. And of course, you'll be able to drop Bardock Resolute in that situation. Then you'll want to swing with Bardock Resolute. Because as soon as you got them right, you want to swing with it. he'll deal 2, so that's 2 plus 3, so that's 5 plus the leader, that's 6 damage right there. Then you still have you'll swing with the leader. You'll take a card from your hand and combo it because you did get your an extra card in your hand. You only need 4 cards, so any extra cards you have in your hand, you can obviously combo it to make the leader a 5k, 5k stronger, so make him a 15k to do damage. So that right there is 3, 4, 5, 6, and now this will be 7 damage. And now you should have the 2 cards you bursted plus the unison should be in the drop. So that's 3 cards plus the card you combo. So that's 4 cards. That will allow you to overwhelm because you have 4 cards in your drop to bring out Awakened Warrior Monarch. So now you have a 20k double strike. And you can obviously swing with it. So that's 9 damage right there. 7 plus 2, that's 9. And then you still have the Bodyguard Ledger you have not yet attacked with. So attack with it, and that right there will be the 10th damage. So there's the 10 hit combo. Obviously now all of these attacks are going to go through. Your opponent's going to try to out combo some of these attacks, of course. But the point is that you have the ability to output 10 damage in one turn with 4 cards. 4 cards plus leader, right? 4 cards plus leader. 10 potential damage turn 1. So on average, as long as you could do 4 or more damage on turn 1, it's more than enough, because then the next turn, turn 2, turn 3, you're just going to be focusing on finishing the game instead of, starting to deal damage. Most people, their turn 1s, they don't deal damage. They just play something, or they just play energy and pass a turn or something, or just swing with the leader and maybe deal 1 damage. But in this deck, obviously, we're trying to deal up to 10 damage turn 1. Get as much as we can. Typically 4 to 6 damage tends to be common amount of damage you can produce, or at least hit your opponent with. So that's a thing. And what else? And that's the end of the video.